When it's a holiday or a self-proclaimed holiday like Prime Day, Amazon usually offers some pretty good discounts on computer accessories, especially external drives like this one. So I went ahead and picked this up on Prime Day. This is the Crucial X8 4TB portable SSD. As you can see, it is compatible with all the operating systems you can expect. Windows, Mac, PlayStation, Xbox, as long as whatever system is able to support an external drive, this will be compatible. Now they do come in quite a few different storage options. I just chose to go for the 4TB option because I do videos and that takes up a lot of space. I also noticed that the speed can be up to an advertised 1050 megabytes per second. And I'll be showing you the read and write speeds in just a moment, but just taking a look at what you can expect out of the box here. It's a very flimsy box that it comes in, so you can see it definitely got damaged during the shipping process. But opening it up, it's very simple packaging. You do have an instruction manual, warranty information, plus the cables and also a USB-C to USB-A adapter, which is really nice to see. Because of how slim this drive is, the connection is USB-C. And then here is the actual drive itself. It's super compact, very thin, pretty lightweight. It slots in at just over 4 inches in length, just under 2 inches in width, and roughly 3/4 inches thick. The majority of the shell is metal. You can feel the cool touch to it, and then the sides are a little bit more of a bumper, so it has plastic. Not that I would suggest dropping this at any point though. Altogether it weighs about 100 grams. It is a little bit heavier than say the SanDisk, which I reviewed a little bit over a year ago, because that construction was mostly plastic, and also it is only 2 terabytes versus the 4 terabyte that I have here on the Crucial. But if you watch my video on the SanDisk, that particular SSD did get pretty hot during large file transfers, so I preferred to have a metal body. So in this case, I tested the temperature when I was transferring really large files, and it just slots in at around 88 degrees Fahrenheit, which is considerably cooler than the SanDisk. Brand spanking new, I noticed that it was already formatted in the exFAT format, which means it's plug and play for both Mac and Windows, which I wanted in this case because my purpose for using this drive was just to carry backup files that I can use between my computers. That format in mind, here is the speed test when the drive is empty for read and write. I'm using the highest stress test here, a 5 gigabyte transfer with Blackmagic. You can see that it is just about 800 megabytes per second, which is still pretty respectable, but still 80% of the advertised 1050 megabytes per second highest speeds. But if you were to use this dedicated on either Windows or Mac, you may want to use their own dedicated formats, for example APFS for Mac, so that you could potentially get higher read and write speeds. Now that was when the drive was completely empty, so as it fills up, the speeds are going to decrease a little bit. So right now I've utilized about 50% of the maximum capacity. So as you can see, the read speed maintained about 800 megabytes per second, but the write speed has dropped down to the 600s. I think these speeds are perfectly adequate if you even had to do some kind of editing off the file, so say maybe video editing at 1080p, but I would probably want to go with a faster drive if I'm editing 4K or above. But as a simple file transfer backup drive to back up your computer, extend the storage on your device, this is perfectly adequate. So something I wasn't really expecting on an SSD hard drive is it sometimes does have trouble ejecting, even though I know for sure there's no files being worked off of the drive, and I haven't seen this kind of error message pop up since I started using SSDs. This was more of an issue when I had the spinning hard drives. But since this is all solid state, there's no LED indicator anywhere to indicate if there's some kind of transfer taking place. So usually when I really fail to be able to eject it through the software, I just have to shut down my computer and then eject it after it's turned off. Another area I check for, having reviewed quite a number of drives, is the connection point between the drive and then the cable. So I'm happy to report that it has a nice, solid, secure connection, unlike some of the other ones that I have tried in the past. So after using this for more than 3 months, I am pretty satisfied with my purchase. It was a pretty good value at the time, especially for the storage options. So if you guys are interested, as usual, I'll put the link in the description.